Hello, beautiful people. It is Coach Tegan, your friendly metabolic fat loss coach, here to help you get to your dream body and dream health. Now, I've been hearing this a lot about what's the difference between fasting and starving. There's a lot of confusion as it relates to how do I make sure that I'm not starving? Because a lot of people told me that I'll lose muscle mass if I starve, and I don't want to do that. You come to the right place at the right time to increase your fat loss and make fasting actually make sense. Also, if you're interested in a nutrition app to help with your fasting, that will be everything you need and more as it relates to meal plans and even guides. I have all of my PDFs on there that I've ever created for my clients, as well as my 2 best-selling ebooks, The Fat Loss Accelerator and the Menopause Survival Bundle, all wrapped in one, including a restaurant food visor and a label scanner. Go ahead and click the link below so you can get that nutritional support you deserve as well. Now it's time for me to spill the things that help you heal the fat that's growing around here. Let's get into the difference between fasting and starving. I gotta get better with my rhymes, y'all. All right, fasting versus starving. Now, first things first is when you're fasting, you are going to be using your fat for fuel. Okay? And when you're starving, you're going to be using your muscles and your organs for fuel, which is a no-no. It's important to note that the average non-weight person actually holds about 100,000 calories worth of fat storage in their body. Let me write that down for y'all. And 150 pounds is an average person that you probably burn about 1,000 to 2,000 calories a day. So essentially what all of this mathematics means is that you have about 67 days of fat to burn for an average non-overweight person. Now, I know you're probably thinking, okay, well, Coach T, that means I could just go ahead and stop eating and drinking for 67 days and then I'll be skinny, waist on nowhere. Hold on, sis, hold on. Let me get into the other differences of fasting versus starving, because we have to make sure that you have the nutrients in your body. When you're fasting, you should have no hunger. Now, let's be mindful. Hunger and cravings are 2 different things. You'll definitely be craving when you're fasting because that is the sugar holding on for dear life. That is those Oreos, them Twinkies, that ice cream is holding on for dear life in your gut microbiome because it's actually dying in your gut, which is a good thing. So we can kill those cravings off. So hunger is not cravings. When you're starving, you're going to be very hungry. When you're fasting, you're going to be calm and focused. You'll notice when you're fasting, you really can't put any output toward negative energy. You're gonna be a mellow woman, which is really good for everybody, if you ask me. When you're starving, you're going to be full of apathy. And apathy means like you really don't have motivation to do things. You really just don't care. When you're fasting, you actually spare your muscle, which makes your muscles look better and more visceral and sexier for my ladies. And when you are starving, you are actually going through atrophy, which basically means that you're degenerating not only your muscles, but other body tissues, which is a no-no. When you're starving, you also are fatigued, which is a no-no, which is what we don't want. Now, I want you to know, as you're getting used to the fasting lifestyle, you may feel a little lightheaded adjusting, and that is normal, especially if you are so used to living off of your glucose metabolism rather than your fat burning metabolism. But the longer that you incorporate it into your routine, the more you'll feel these benefits, and you'll basically be getting over the withdrawal symptoms from a high glucose diet. We all know that sugar is just as addictive as cocaine. So that is all that is. It has nothing to do with you feeling like you're starving. It has to do with your body finally getting rid of those toxins that have been causing the inflammation in the first place. Now, last but certainly not least, this is the biggest difference between fasting and starving, which is fasting actually conserves your nutrients. And this is where a lot of people mess up because they don't actually have nutrients to begin with. And that is where we kind of teeter-totter between the fasting and the starving, because we need to make sure that we're fueling our bodies properly, not only when we're not fasting, but while we're fasting as well. We are ultimately starving if we have nutrient deficiencies. It can lead to things like beriberi, which is a deficiency in vitamin B1, pellagra, which is a deficiency in vitamin B3, scurvy, which is a deficiency in vitamin C, or even rickets, which is a deficiency in vitamin D. Is this the wrong marker? Definitely the wrong marker. Now, this is the main reason that I tell my clients to get as much sunlight as possible, especially when they're fasting, and to make sure that we're getting our electrolytes in so that we can prevent any nutritional deficiencies that may cause you to have symptoms of starving instead of all of these great symptoms of fasting. So if you're feeling like you are leaning toward one or the other, check this list and see, are you feeling more like this side or more like this side? And that will lead you to an understanding of what is going on with your body, whether you're fasting or starving. But I do want to remind you, for even an average non-overweight person, you have about 67 days of fat to burn. And there's even been a world record of a man fasting, yes, fasting, for over a year. And he never went into starvation because he had that much amount of fat to burn on his body. So I want to encourage you guys that you definitely probably aren't starving. You're probably feeling those withdrawal symptoms from craving all of that sugar and good carbs per usual. But I want you to know that fasting is going to make you feel stronger and reserve that muscle, and starving is going to make you feel weak in the knees. You can hardly breathe. You'll lose all control. And that's not good for you or me. I just want you to succeed. That's what you mean to me. Just remember the tips with Coach T. That's all I have for you beautiful souls today. And if you love all of these great tips, you'll have all of the resources that I've ever created on top of unlimited meal plans if you go ahead and subscribe to that nutrition app. And maybe you want one-on-one coaching support from yours truly. Go ahead and fill out that one-on-one application form. I only take a few people per month so that you can see my lovely face every week, and I can guarantee we get to your goals. If you're completely enjoying this video, I know you'll enjoy the video right here, where I talk more about how to break your fast. It is very important to know how to break your fast, because how you break your fast is more important than how long your fast is. I know you guys will enjoy that, and I love to see so many new faces here every week. Until next time, do not forget, I believe in you. Do you?